Welcome to Thursday. It's the 18th day of September, 2025. Your Day with a Podcast brought to you by the Advocates Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident, don't face it alone. Get an experienced local Wyoming attorney on your side. Free consultations at WyomingAdvocates.com or call 307-800-1952. You deserve an advocate. Well, as you'll see there in the headline, that's a famous song for some of you that might know it. And as we take a look at what's going on in Southern California, it's raining as the remains of Mario are moving in. Pesky low that's been over the Rockies all week, really, is finally getting out further into the plains, slowly headed towards the Corn Belt. So what we're going to see is going to generally be a nice improvement in the weather. Overall, we just have mild September weather that'll be coming here for the rest of the week and through the weekend. There's going to be just enough moisture, just enough that a few isolated showers and thunderstorms are going to develop over the higher terrain in some parts of the Rockies this weekend, but they're not the type of showers and thunderstorms that will ruin your weekend. If you're going to be out and about, especially in the mountains, you just got to be prepared for them. They'll be brief, not heavy, but a few will be around. Then a new little wrinkle has come into play, and that's for Monday and Tuesday. Looks like a low pressure system will quickly come across the Pacific Northwest into southern Canada, then take a dip south right along and east of the divide, dragging a cold front in early next week. So as we get into the Monday-Tuesday time frame, along and east of the Continental Divide, we're going to get a quick shot of upslope, colder temperatures, showers, clouds. I don't see it as strong enough to bring freeze or frost conditions on a widespread basis. But there's an early week cool down east of the divide, then a nice rebound. In fact, the second half of next week, after that cold front warms up, then as we get to the last weekend of September, lots of question marks on whether or not we're going to have a strong front or not, but that's probably when to expect the next frontal system. Lots of soupy conditions yesterday in many areas, a lot of low-hanging, gray, dark-looking clouds, at least in eastern areas of Wyoming, Montana, the Dakotas, Nebraska, down into eastern Colorado, before we started to see more in the way of clearing west of the divide. And there's your example. Black Hills, South Dakota yesterday, Yellowstone National Park. So you go from one side of the divide to the other. That was the difference. Fair weather clouds, a beautiful blue sky, and soup. But more of this, blue sky and fair weather coming over the divide today. The dragonflies knowing that the season is coming to an end. A great photo there. Nice rainbow after the showers and thunderstorms the day before in the Casper area. Satellite photos this morning show that pesky low is finally further out east. There's going to be plenty of activity here, cool temperatures in areas of showers and thunderstorms, and you can see the nice gap of fair weather in between that system. And then here are the remains of Mario coming up into California and Arizona. We have a lot of subtropical moisture coming all the way north into the area like this. Now, this doesn't happen every year where you get tropical activity that can come this far north. But you can see there's dry air in between the systems. So that dry air is what will be heading eastward. Precipitable water, as you would expect. Very, very impressive. You see these purple areas right here? So the rain that falls with these showers and thunderstorms in those blue and dark green and purple areas will be quite significant. And then you can see this nice dry pocket coming in between the waves of moisture. Flood watches are in effect from western Arizona all the way into the southern part of the central valleys of California. And we're looking at radar this morning and showing an impressive band of light to moderate to at times heavy rainfall. This west to east band here is just going to drift very slowly northward through the course of the day today. And there's not only rain in the forecast for Southern California and parts of Central California today, but will linger into parts of the weekend as well. So this is where we are today. By tomorrow into the weekend, things begin to move a little bit. So this is by Sunday. So today, Sunday, there's that mild westerly flow, but this little ripple right here is what's going to end up causing the cold front coming in Monday and Tuesday. But for the weekend, we're going to be in this mild zonal flow. We showed you yesterday that there's going to be a little bit of shower and thunderstorm activity Saturday and Sunday. There it is. Again, nothing widespread, but there will be some showers around in a few areas. Temperatures are going to be pretty moderate, but you can see warming up, especially up in southern Canada. But this area right here, affected by the clouds and a little bit of moisture in the air, keeping temperatures just very comfortably September mild. Then as we get into next week, here's what we'd call a backdoor cold front. That little ripple right here comes into Canada, then the flow gets amplified, and then it curves its way down like this Monday and Tuesday. There you can see it. So it starts to make its way down the front range and out into the plains. So what this will do is this will interject some moisture, some cooler air backs up against the divide, and will produce some upslope conditions. So there'll be a bit of a cool down after a warmer weekend. We have the remains still an upper low off the coast of California. So there's more rain coming into early next week for parts of California there. Then we await the next trough coming in behind it. And you can look at temperatures Monday. This is by 6 p.m. Monday. By 6 p.m. Monday, you can see the coolness coming down along and east of the divide with that backdoor cold front. Again, this is nothing too scary cold, but it will get a little bit soupy again and bring another hint of fall-like weather. This is the precipitation that'll be found along the front. We could again end up having some heavy showers and thunderstorms as that system tracks southeast into the northwestern areas of the Corn Belt, but some upslope showers for Montana, parts of Wyoming, South Dakota, western Nebraska, into eastern Colorado with that backdoor cold front Monday and into Tuesday. And there, that upper low sits off the California coast and feeds more showers, this time into central and northern areas of California. Now, what happens after the middle to the end of next week? The computer modeling this morning is wackadoodle. We'll take a look at that forecast for that last weekend of September in a little bit more detail tomorrow. As we look and see the high pressure ridge come in behind that upper low, this is by Wednesday. It settles into the central part of the country. We have this little finger of high pressure. So after a start of the week cool down, a mid to late week warm up is coming Wednesday through Friday of next week. However, all of this action in the Gulf of Alaska may or may not crash the party by next weekend. But with the big disagreement in the long-term modeling, we'll let a day or two go by before we take a look at that last weekend of September and early October, because there's some form of change coming. But the devil is in the details. Have yourself a very good Thursday. We'll see you tomorrow.